Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is my usual weekly technical analysis outlook videos in which I will comment on what I think will happen to some FX crosses and equities. As always, before I begin, I want to clarify that this is not a solicitation or recommendation to enter into long or short positions in the names that I will mention in this video, nor do I have existing positions in them. This is not financial advice, and if you're using this content as a guide to trade, you are doing so at your own risk. Alright, let's start. These are the names that I have covered in past videos, and I will do a quick review on each of them. In the later section of this video, I will also begin covering these new names. I will also be ceasing coverage on several names as well. Do check them out towards the end of this video. I've put in timestamps, so please use them to skip to the names that interest you. In the video on the 2nd of August, I said that Hermes completed a cup and handle top and it's technically bearish, but cautioned over here that due to the overextension below the lower Bollinger, the next move is likely to be higher first as a correction. I expected upside to be rejected by the cloud resistance to resume the downside. Hermes had a 2-day advance but did not reach the Ichimoku cloud and has since resumed its downside. The textbook target of this cup and handle top is at 1239.5, but there are two supports, first at 1895 and the second one at 1639, both of which can bounce Hermes higher if tested. I started coverage on Coreweave on the 25th of August and said that it is technically bearish after completing a cup and handle top. The textbook target is at 14.68. Since then, it went into a correction phase, expectedly climbed above the support at 100.8, slightly above, and slipped thereafter. I believe Coreweave is now in the bearish resumption phase. Watch out for supports at 64.31 as well as 35.19 that can bounce price action higher when tested. Moving on to names that I will start coverage on, the first one is one of the tech darlings, Nvidia, which appears to have completed a small head and shoulders top after closing below the neckline at 170.89. This bearish pattern has a textbook target that is not excessively low, around 157.35, but if Nvidia reaches this level, there is potential that it is below the Ichimoku cloud and therefore it could fall further. A rebound above 184.47 will invalidate this bearish pattern, but I suspect the next move for Nvidia Core to be higher first. As said earlier in this video, price action over here overextended below the lower Bollinger, and this usually leads to 1 to 3 days worth of advance as a form of correction before resuming the downside. The second tech name that I want to start coverage on is on Microsoft. It has completed a head and shoulders top this week after closing below the neckline at 500.7. The textbook target is at 446.18 and the support is at 472.68 that can potentially bounce Microsoft higher when tested. Moving on to AMD, I believe AMD has also completed a head and shoulders top this week after closing below the neckline at 158.25. Textbook target is at 130.11 with one support at 147.63 that can bounce AMD higher when tested. But note, if AMD actually falls to 130.11, it is likely to be below the cloud, therefore downside bias is expected to strengthen. This next name is a British banking giant, Standard Chartered. I believe it is forming a cup and handle top. Price action closed below the 20-day simple moving average, giving it a slight downside bias. But this bearish pattern will only be deemed complete if there is a close below the support at 1285. And once completed, the textbook target is at 1138. Alternatively, rising above 1420.50 will invalidate this bearish pattern. Moving over to two German equities. Next is SAP, a German software corporation that does enterprise resource planning software. Recent price action suggests the formation of a cup and handle top. Closing below the cloud, the support is around 226.15. Will give downside buyers a boost. Closing below the support at 209.1 will complete this bearish pattern that has a textbook target at 130.38. Alternatively, rising above 273.5 will invalidate this bearish pattern. Last but not least, Adidas is a stock that has fallen from a high of slightly above 260 but appears to be rebounding of late. I am technically bullish on Adidas. There are two bullish patterns in play here. First is a cup and handle bottom, which was just completed this week. The textbook target of this bullish pattern is at 186.3. Now, assuming Adidas advances further to 186.3, then we can start suspecting that Adidas may actually extend its advance to form and potentially complete a falling wedge, which is also a bullish pattern. This bullish pattern requires a close above the resistance trend line to complete, and if completed, Adidas could advance further by another 70 euro. Falling below the support trend line will invalidate this bullish pattern. There are two names that I will cease coverage on in this video. First one, Alibaba. The potential cup and handle top that I noted on the 25th of May was invalidated over here after price action rallied this week. I will also no longer be covering Alphabet in future videos because the potential rising wedge that I noted on the 16th of August was invalidated this week when price action broke above the resistance trend line. But just to add, there are two reasons why I think Alphabet's next move is going to be lower first. First, because there was a gap up on the 3rd of September. Gaps are usually, but not always, partially or fully filled. Therefore, there is a risk that Alphabet could fall back to as low as 211.68. Second, you can see that 3 consecutive days price action overextended above the upper Bollinger, and this usually leads to 1 to 3 days worth of decline as a correction. That's the end of my sharing. I will give updates to these crosses and names only when there are meaningful development, and in the next video, it will highly likely be on new crosses and new names. If you like what I'm doing, please help me out by giving me a like. Please subscribe and hit the notification button for more videos like this.